Welcome back to the weekly Educators in VR XR News Show.
And
Bringing
Steph,
you from
is
across
that your
the
bird we're
metaverse.
hearing in the background?
Oh dear, I was afraid that would happen.
That's okay, just as long as we know it's her bird.
Nest,
All right,
this is
now you can
this
go
is-
on.
That
That's
is
okay,
the
we
sound.
could force Toby.
That is the sound of nest building. And once she starts,
Ah!
you can't stop her.
Not a problem. We love Toby. So I just want to clarify, as long as you know what the sound is, we're good. All right,
Okay,
Steph,
sorry about
start
that.
us off. Not a problem.
Welcome back to the weekly Educators in VR XR News Show, bringing
Yeah.
you news from across the metaverse since 2018.
The XR News is hosted every week here in Engage XR. Join us for our two new segments in between our regular XR News shows. The first Wednesdays are XR News Med Health Edition with Rachel D. And the third Wednesdays are the XR News Innovation Spotlight with hosts Maxwell McGee, Chris Madsden, and Dr. Dom Furness.
Now, I am so excited about today's special guests from the Bridgemakers community and beyond. We are here with Scott Fitzpatrick, known as Scott, who we've met in Altspace VR, and Eren, also known as Fuzz. From now on, we're going to call him Fuzz. And these are two leaders of the VR chat community, formerly of Altspace, and their community is called Love Letters to Sci-Fi. And together, these two produce some of the most popular science fiction events and things in VRChat, including the Star Trek, Firefly, The Body Keeps Score, James Webb Space Telescope news, and so much more. And some of the stuff coming out of James Webb, and there's a new telescope. See, I can get so nerdy with this. So we're going to have fun talking about all of this and begin our interview and our torture experiment, as we do every time, right after the news.
Last week, XR News Innovation Spotlight was at a special interview with one of the hosts, Maxwell McGee. We talked about his career as an award-winning voice actor and his transition to VR. Engage XR, freelance educator and trainer, and now leading an academic department in Connecticut focused on XR and emerging technology. It was so much fun. It's up on our YouTube if you missed it.
Yep. Next week on Wednesday, Next week on Wednesday, XR News Med Health. I was thinking it was Thanksgiving. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. XR News Med Health Edition with Rachel D. is bringing us one of our favorites, Dr. Jose Ferrer Costa. Dr. Jose is one of the early leaders of the Educators in VR Med Health team and an award-winning world builder and medical doctor. His new research in integrating XR into primary care chronic pain management programs is helping to change the world of medicine. Bring your questions and get ready for a fun interview next Wednesday.
You'll also find the video of our XR News Holiday Shopping Showcase special that we did a few weeks ago, and we're helping you with your holiday shopping and preparing for Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales this weekend. More than just a Thanksgiving holiday for the Americans.
We'd also like to remind you of Giving Tuesday. If you choose to invest in your love of VR, remember those nonprofit organizations that strive to educate the young and adults using immersive technologies. Take a moment to please consider giving to the Girls STEAM Institute and Africa VR Campus, two of our beloved nonprofit partners and sponsors of XR News and Educators in VR. Visit their websites at girlsteaminstitute.org and africavr.org to give. Even $5 can make such a difference in the life of a nonprofit as they help change the life of a young person in VR.
The XR News is produced by Educators in VR and run by volunteers. Thank you so much to our partners and supporters who keep us going, including the Reinhardt Foundation, Girls STEAM Institute, iLearn, Virtual World Society, Vertex Form 3D, Cadets Metaverse, Engage XR, and Bridgemakers. If you or your company would like to sponsor the XR News, please contact us at educatorsinvr.com.
And also follow us on all the social media channels and on our Educators in VR YouTube. The links to all our news stories that we cover are also on the Educators in VR Discord. We have some really great news. So let's get rolling.
Okay.
All right.
In industry news, the Immersive X conference brought together immersive tech experts from around the world. The key discussion points in the conference focused in and around AI and XR, cybersecurity, and winning user buy-in and retaining it. Many speakers admitted that we are in an ebb and flow cycle, no kidding, and they are expecting this coming year to be transformative in adoption as well as new innovations.
Meta's World Gen tool is in the research stage, and users are eager for the Star Trek holodeck experience to describe a virtual world or object and have the AI generate it. Unfortunately, the current ability is to create a 50 by 50 meter world, limiting your options. Horizon already has a host of AI features on Horizon Worlds for a variety of 3D mesh and texture generation, coding, audio, and more for creators. But we consumers, we always want more, right?
No kidding.
Gimme, 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 gimme,
Gimme.
gimme.
Yeah,
we are so awful. Now,
Yep.
you talk about gimme, gimme. With a little bit of Meta's hyperscape. Seriously,
that, Laurel?
Meta's anxiety.
Oh, okay.
That's the sound effect. You go anxiety. We've decided that's the new permanent sound effect that we're going to do. Meta's Hyperscape is a free Meta Store app that allows you to scan real-world locations using the Quest headset's cameras and convert them into ultra-realistic virtual environments. Not my office. Not happening. Not happening. Oh, I should for posterity, but trust me, not happening. Yeah, just I'm sitting, if you're just sitting there with dirty laundry and stuff, it's not. I just don't see anyway.
Not even for posterity.
Yeah. But anyway, it's rolling out right now, and you can invite up to 8 visitors inside your 360-degree 3D scans via Meta's Horizon World engine. Now, a lot of people are scanning parks and nature spaces. That makes more sense than my office, trust me.
Yeah.
But have you tried it yet, Karen?
No, but we're going to Matthew's house for a barbecue in his backyard.
Okay.
Perfect.
We've been planning that for
trees.
years.
Didn't invite me. Invited. Yeah, I didn't get invited. Oh man.
Oh, you'll be invited. Don't worry.
You can visit them later in Hyperscape.
There you go. Okay.
Meanwhile, in Roblox launched their new safety gold standard, a facial age check that limits communication between minors and adults. Facial age estimation is designed to protect privacy as face-scanned images and data are deleted after qualification, and it restricts users to only talk to those of similar age and unlock age-appropriate features. They are also including a trusted connections feature to allow 13 or older youth to chat with people they know and supposedly trust. This is a big concept and a big discussion point. If you want to talk about this more, let us know and we'll discuss and schedule a discussion in our Educators in VR sessions.
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's great, but it also comes with a whole lot of complexity. So
it does.
Again, the sound effect is right.
It's a good goal to work towards, though. But anyway,
it is.
So the Motion Picture Experts Group just released specifications for MPEG-1 immersive audio, a new standard designed specifically for VR and AR applications. MPEG-1 enables automatic immersive audio reproduction that adapts to user position and head orientation, creating realistic space. Creating realistic spatial sound that moves with the virtual environment, standardizing what is now inconsistent across platforms. That is just awesome.
Nice.
The other night we were in Horizon and the audio was literally driving me up the wall.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay, I feel like I want a drum roll. I need a. Okay, are there any Zork fans here. Please tell me there's some Zork fans. Oh, come on. I know Ancient knows Zork.
Oh, there's one.
Yay, we love Zork. Yay, Fuzzes love it. Okay. Zork's code has passed through too many hands, seriously, and now somehow it's a property of Microsoft. That's a gap I missed in its history. They announced last week that they are releasing the open source code versions of Zork 1, 2, and 3 to preserve the pioneering games and their programming. And this, if you don't know what this is, it's a text-based adventure game. It was one of the first games that was available on computer, and the world was changed by these famous words. You're standing in an open field west of a White House with a boarded front door. There is a small mailbox here.
Wow.
It just, the adventure starts with a white mailbox, man.
I love it.
I love it.
Okay. Created originally by Infocom and then backed by Graham Nelson. These interactive fiction.
Hacked.
Oh,
It was hacked by Graham.
Hacked by Graham Nelson.
Yeah.
Okay, that changes the meaning significantly. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
These interactive fiction games continue to be user created and have a loyal and large international fan base. We are thrilled. I want them to bring back the original Apple adventure.
Well, that came later.
But if you are a fan and want to know more, please talk to Laurel, obviously. Her husband's interactive game won many awards years ago, and they are still fans, playing the winners of the International Interactive Fiction Games competition every December over the holidays.
We got plans this year.
Yes, we're going to talk to Laurel later about all this. All right, so let's delve into some of the latest innovations in virtual hardware. So as we reported in our holiday shopping special a few weeks ago, AR glasses are driving a large part of the tech purchases so far for advanced Black Friday sales. Xreal One Pro, considered the benchmark for accessible high-tech AR glasses, is on sale for $599, 20% off, while the standard Xreal One has dropped to $399. The Xreal Beam Pro companion device is available for $1,559. Too many numbers. That messes up my brain up. Okay.
Laurel?
Yeah.
Mommy.
I'm sorry, I'm still zorking.
I love this.
Just understand, I got lost in the zork. Okay. But also, after 6 years of not just silence, weird leaks, and all kinds of other things, Valve has officially re-entered the VR headset market with a Steam frame, a wireless PC VR headset engineered specifically for seamless Steam VR experiences. Focused on high-end users, it's an exciting innovation in VR headsets, and it marks a significant shift in the competitive landscape, and we're going to give you more information on that at another show.
Yeah, I'm kind of following that. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's a complicated headset. That's why we're going to cover it later on, because it needs a lot more time. We can give it today.
But Appotronics premiered their Laser plus LCOS optical engine called the Dragonfly G1 at this month's Laser Illumination and Projection Association conference. And researchers at Optica announced that surfaces engineered to manipulate light, meta surfaces, are showing significant promise in boosting AR image clarity and brightness while reducing power requirements. These breakthroughs are finally going to deliver the optical performance that consumer AR glasses have been promising for years.
Ooh. TCL, almost said TLC. TCL, meanwhile, has unveiled the highest density RGB OLED on-glass display in the world, featuring 120 hertz refresh rate optimized for VR applications. This display technology could enable a new generation of mid-range headsets positioned between the Meta Quest 3 at $500 and the Samsung Galaxy XR at $650 plus. Expect the first consumer headsets using TCL's display tech to arrive in early 2026. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's changing, man.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
it's also going backwards. Linux announced that Google
Backwards?
had yes, going backwards. Linux announced that Google has unexpectedly terminated its agreement to use Android XR on the startup's next generation standalone headset. Now, Linux, which built its reputation on the open peripheral design philosophy of the Lynx R1,
Mhm.
was planning to adopt Android XR to compete with Meta and Samsung's proprietary ecosystems. Now they have to scramble to find a new operating system. So we're not sure about the status of this headset. Again, we make, it goes in waves. Here we are, but we're going to keep you updated because this looks like it's a fascinating headset.
Yeah, that too. During our holiday shopping special a few weeks ago, Karen shared that she leased a helper robot that should arrive in her home in 2026. We've had no end of fun teasing her about it. Here comes another one, and another contender.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well, but I wanted to show this hysterical thing, which you get from the still picture here. Russia's first AI-powered robot walked onto the stage about a week ago to the triumphant music from Rocky's Gonna Fly Now show, was ready to dance and dazzle us across the stage with Putin and the whole world watching. It took a few steps and then face planted right in the middle of the stage.
Ingloriously.
It was insane. And, there was much to laugh about, but what was even funnier is they immediately started bringing out a black curtain that was all twisted up and stuff to try to drag it and hide what we had just witnessed.
And cover the robot like it died.
Cover the robot. Yeah. Like we were going to have the image of this thing going, hello, as out of our minds with this black curtain that just said so much about Russia. Anyway, it was just too much. But the first impression had already been made. And Karen,
Yes.
We hope your robot will make a much better first impression, and we can't wait to share the experience when you get your new bot.
I can't either. I'm already thinking about starting a YouTube channel and recording little snippets.
I think you should.
Yes,
but I'm glad I don't live in Russia because I'm sure some people were exterminated by Putin for that.
No kidding.
Well, part of what I was going to show you is there was also they put out a video to try to make up for it of the robot with bandages across its nose and on its head apologizing.
I didn't see that.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh my God, it is too funny. Anyway, all of this is on our Educators in VR Discord. You can laugh of your own accord. You can look it up on YouTube. But let's get on to the XR app.
Okay, all right. All right, so we're leaving my beloved robot behind, which I don't have yet.
Yeah,
and moving on to XR app news. So reporters are still recovering from everything announced at the VR Game Showcase a week ago. You'll find the full listing in our Educators in VR Discord in the Educational Apps channel.
Now, this is exciting because I'm a professional nature and travel photographer. Lush Foil Photography Simulator VR is launching on December 5th. I'm really curious about it on Steam. It's a unique app that has you photographing some of the most amazing landscapes and landmarks in the world, like a pro photographer, improving your composition and artistic skills. This is a really fascinating way to get people excited, improving photography with virtual reality. And weird thought.
Kind of, yeah. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Flight Unlimited has launched a full-fledged flight simulator, while the multiplayer Aero Surfer flight game has you falling in a skydive, racing to the ground, vying for the one and only parachute. These new games, these new games prove that advanced 3D graphics and physics simulators or simulations are now viable on standalone mobile class processors. Maybe hardware really has finally caught up with developer ambitions. I don't know that I want to play that game.
Well, there are more game announcements coming with Upload VR's Winter Showcase 2025 going live on December 5th, just around the corner, showcasing new VR games and apps coming from developers' networks. VR creators can submit their projects up until November 27th for a chance to be featured.
I'm excited about this. Walkabout Mini Golf now offers a playable chessboard in the Upside Town and Venice and Welcome Island for you chess players. If you haven't noticed, they've also brought in slingshots, leaf blowers, why I don't know, and bug nets to various areas and some new hidden discoverable areas. I want to get rid of them just outside, the noise factor, but now that we got them in VR, and but we love Walkabout Mini Golf, and so check it out and play some in peace, away from the leaf blowers. Play some chess.
Yeah. Gamers rejoice. Google Play Store has released an update that now makes it easier to find apps built specifically for XR headsets. Google is adding a new XR headset chip, or tab, that shows headset-specific screenshots, reviews, and app details in the Play Store amongst the apps and games, perfectly timed to support the Samsung Galaxy XR headset, as well as other VR devices.
Don't forget that Meta's $1.5 million contest for Quest developers, with 32 prizes up to $100,000 each for standout new apps or major updates by November 9th. The Meta Horizon Start developer competition, formerly Oculus Start, I miss Oculus, connects creators with Meta's dev team on Discord for mentorship, tech support, and community. Details are in our Educators of VR Discord.
Now, up on the screen, hopefully no commercials, is our friend Evgenia Simmons of Vertex Form 3D has a new app on the Unity framework called World Expo. And it's been selected as a finalist for the XRCC Online 2025 Hackathon. Check it out in the app in the Meta Store. They're still working on it. Final submissions are today, and I just heard from Evgenia that she just submitted this. The final decision should be coming before the next week. We're so excited for her.
Wow!
So check it out. Isn't that amazing?
Excellent.
That's wonderful.
Really cool. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
World building is getting easier, but that was a work of art what she's been doing.
Tremendous. And what an amazing team. These are all it's a college-based or university-based hackathon. So she's working with the students. This is really exciting.
Excellent.
Oh, wow.
Well, in other world building news, we have been talking about the beta version of Blended 5.0, and now it is out. So many improvements. Check our past shows for details, but we have still to highlight Selection Sync, described in the announcement as grabbing a face no longer rips it apart. The core UI for geometry nodes has been simplified and is expected to be much easier to learn. Check it out and let us know what you think about the improvements.
That's too funny.
No ripping off of faces.
That's right. Leave my face alone. All right.
Yay!
AI building worlds and model generators are everywhere. Has any of you played around with them? We mentioned some by Meta at the top of the show, but here's some more. Marble is another WebXR tool we've previously reported that uses AI to create a volumetric scene in minutes. They've partnered with Viverse to create a new era of AI-powered 3D content. Founded by Feifei Li, a pioneer of modern AI, Marble generates Gaussian splats with improved speed and realistic quality from a single input image or text prompt. It has a free tier, but if you wish more editing options like a style editing tool called Chisel, or one that allows exporting into traditional 3D world formats, it costs $20 a month.
Now, I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at okay, I've got to stop with the silliness. Now, the open source. I know, I just bad for me. Okay, the open source Wonderland engine has now been fully integrated with HTC Viverse via a new GitHub template, enabling creators to build immersive WebXR worlds that work seamlessly across mobile, desktop, and VR platforms. And now these partnerships with Viverse makes the creator and multiplayer platform even more enticing and gives Meta Horizon, it's the only competition for Meta Horizon. So, are you on it? We would love to hear about your experiences if you are.
Competition is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And SAM 3D, an emerging AI-powered platform, enables rapid generation and customization of 3D assets through simple prompts and interactive editing. Designed for developers and artists, it supports export to Unity, Unreal, and popular VR social platforms, fostering streamlined asset creation without deep technical know-how. Yay! Laurel tried it out with a photograph of her great-grandmother.
Poor
that
grandma.
still needs some work. I had better luck with a flower-shaped frosting that decorated a cake. Any other early adopters? Please share how SAM 3D fits into your world building toolkit.
Yeah.
Well, Unreal Engine 6 recently entered beta with their new AI-assisted content generation features and enhanced support for large-scale open worlds. It offers creators improved procedural tools, photorealistic rendering, and seamless integration with AI workflows to accelerate immersive environment design across PC VR, consoles, and mobile XR platforms. If you're building with Unreal 6, what breakthroughs have you noticed?
Yeah, and now Ethereal Engine is reportedly yet another open source WebXR pipeline. This one's a multiplayer first design that automatically adjusts as asset detail to optimize performance across devices from Quest to iPhone and creates a single immersive experience that looks great everywhere, balancing fidelity and performance. Have you tried it?
The latest Git 2.52 update celebrates 20 years of innovation with enhanced support for triangular workflows, security improvements, and better integration with AI coding assistance. These improvements streamline version control and collaboration for development teams building complex XR projects and multiplayer worlds. Have you elevated your team's productivity with the newest Git features?
A reminder here, Unity has now consolidated its different Discords into one, including moving the active Unity for Educators Discord server. We have information on their new server in our Educators in VR Discord, so you can join the rest of us in making the switch.
Now, Lance, we're so proud of Lance. He presented a workshop last week on how to set up, optimize, and import from Blender into Unity for our Educators in VR Unity workgroup session. So it was really fascinating. The video is up on our YouTube channel for you to check it out. And kudos to Lance, who's in the Educators in VR account right now, who is our stage manager and producer, co-producer of this event. And we're really, really proud of him for doing that. Well done.
Bravo. Now on to VR events. The holiday season is on, in case you haven't noticed. There are events scheduled across all the social VR platforms, from religious to outrageous. Check your favorite platform's event calendar for details. Here are a few to look forward to, though.
Educators in VR is looking for readers who know how to read a good story. Wednesday, December 10th, is the 8th annual International Holiday Storytelling event, where people from around the world read stories representing the culture and tradition of holidays in their corner of the world or beyond. We're looking for readers to share them with us as part of the joy of the holiday season.
Now, the day before, so you can see how it's done, is another storytelling event on Wednesday, December 9th, with a creative writing meetup team that is sharing our original stories around the holiday season. If you're a writer and you wish to share your 4 to 6 minute story written by you, come join us. There's no registration or sign up. First come, first storytell to celebrate the holidays. We love this event.
VR and Dreamscaping in Psychology is a special presentation in Engage XR next Wednesday, December 3rd, by the Mount Royal University psychology students. And you don't want to miss it. They're exploring the use of VR as therapy to influence dream content. Come join us to support the students and learn about their research into dream therapy in VR.
Ooh. Join us that same day in VRChat for another Ask Me Anything event with a team of educators in VR. The last one of the year, they are open to answering any questions you have about VR event production and learning to teach in VR.
And how to do the show without falling on your face plant.
You think?
And we we've been doing this for too long, I think.
Indeed.
Don't forget, next since 2018, you believe it. Don't forget the next Wednesday, XR News Med Health Edition with Rachel D features Dr. Jose Ferrer Costa, medical doctor, award-winning world builder, pioneer in immersive technology, sharing his experiences in VR and world building, as well as his research in integrating XR into primary care for chronic pain management to help lower costs and the burden of long-term care and medication. So come join us. It's amazing. He's awesome.
He is.
Definitely. Looking ahead, save Wednesday, December 10th to join us here in Engage XR for our annual Resolutions XR News Show. We will be showcasing the news from the past year and discussing our resolutions for 2026, including upcoming events, workshops, and predictions for what the XR industry is going to do in 2026. Come join us and share your vision and resolutions for 2026.
Whoa. Wednesday, December 17th. Join us in VRChat for our annual Holiday Joy Educators in VR Holiday Party. We'll have games, mazes, and all sorts of fun planned by Lance, Rachel D, and our Educators in VR entertainment and social team.
Ooh. Now also check out all of the events. They're starting to get dressed up for the holidays if they're not already. Favorite partner events including Atessa's nightclub and karaoke events in VRChat, Von D's karaoke events in Engage XR, and the Bridgemaker events in VRChat. We have already they've already started celebrating the holiday season, because you know what? We know the truth. Two truths we know, right, ladies? Is one, there's never a bad hair day in VR, and two, there's never a dull moment in VR.
No kidding.
So true.
Due to the shortness of time, we are only highlighting the conferences coming up in the next 2 months today. United XR Europe will be December 8th through the 10th in Brussels, Belgium.
CES 2026, Consumer Electronics Show, known for its extensive XR, AR, and VR exhibits and product launches, is January 6th through 9th, 2026 in Las Vegas, Nevada.
IEEE AIX VR 2026 is January 26th to 28th in Osaka, Japan.
And if you would like to have a favorite conference or XR event featured here, please let us know.
Yay! All right, now it's
All
the
right.
time you've all been waiting for.
Yes, the interview session. All right, we are so excited to bring to our XR News stage 2 VRChat community leaders, Scott Fitzgerald and Eren. Yay!
Yay! Come on down. All right.
Guys, let
Now,
me in.
Yay! Come on in.
I might
You can
need
get
you
in.
to be seated, Lance. So just
Yep.
Matthew. So just be
Yeah,
prepared.
whoever. Yeah, we get to play sit again. All right.
Yes.
So Scott is a long,
go.
I just
Okay.
want to tell you, because I've known Scott for too long, lifelong early adopter and technology enthusiast, and the host of the inclusive sci-fi and mental health events like Star Trek, Firefly, The Body Keeps Score, James Webb Space Telescope News, and so much more. A science fiction fan since his father read him science fiction stories describing chairs and helmets that transported people to digital worlds. Sound familiar? Familiar?
Mhm.
He taught himself Unity and builds custom worlds in VRChat that are just amazing. And we're so excited to talk about the community and everything. And Eren, known as Fuzz. Fuzz is a VR designer, community builder who turns a lifelong passion for gaming and digital art into immersive VR experiences. Steph, you want to tell them more?
Well, he uses open source tools. Oh dear. He uses open source tools to create accessible, interactive worlds for connection, learning, and healing. Eren also partners on collaborative VR events to foster community engagement, collaborating with Schot's Star Trek Next Generation talks, yes, James Webb Telescope VR events, and the ongoing Firefly Series review.
We're really eager to have them share our stage and learn more about their work in VR, community building, event production,
contain
and
myself.
more.
Steph, sit. There you go. All right, so let's get started. So Fuzz and Scott, you need to unmute yourself because you're both muted. I want to know about your history together and how do you two first connected?
Yeah, I met Scott, I think it was in Altspace. Scott was hosting the weekly Star Trek TNG amongst a couple of other events as well. And we were both a part of the Evolve VR community, and
Mm-hmm.
we've been friends ever since. I mean, and we just have like so many things in common. And Scott really inspired me with the amount of work and community building that he does, and he's just lovable too. Anytime I think anyone that's talked to Scott, you just kind of like drawn in. You're like, yes, tell me more.
Uh,
Scott, what's your
Yeah.
story?
Oh gosh, I have to really return the sentiment. I think Fuzz is one of those people that you meet, and it's like you feel like you've just known your whole life, and collaborating with him is such a pleasure. One story I can share in Altspace was a world that Fuzz was working on, and in his humility, he's just like, oh, this is something I just kind of threw together, and it's like this expansive sci-fi landscape, and it had these four wise men kind of androids facing one another, and they would give the meditation, the om, like they would kind of om at each other, and it was just like so fascinating to watch, and I was like, I need to know more about this world builder, and thankfully he was right in the Evolver community in Altspace with me, so we just started kind of saying, well, what are we doing next, and it kind of came from there.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, tell us
And that
more
was-
about your community. And go ahead, Steph.
I was just wondering, was that in Altspace?
It was in Altspace, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in fact, I
Yeah,
got
Altspace was something very special, and it allowed us to really share. And I think that's what made building a lot easier, being able to share packets and assets, simple things like being able to put a hat on, or, being able to advertise, not necessarily advertise, but just have an active calendar. Like there's such simple things I think we took for granted in Altspace.
Yeah.
But are
Yeah,
found
yeah.
fundamental for community building and just cohesiveness,
Well, that's so all of us up here on the stage are, we were born, as to quote somebody else, we were born in Altspace in a lot of ways. And we often hear of people who want to recreate Altspace. What are your thoughts on that community and the idea of recreating it?
Well, I think there's always a way of looking back and always thinking things were better than they were. When we were in Altspace, we all complained about how crappy the coding is and being able to, you had to learn this new language, and the syntax was horrible, and there's not enough libraries, and it's just like, okay, like I love you guys, but it just made my life so much harder. It's like, and you need to, and there's so much gatekeeping with having to publish things. Like you needed like so many different levels in order to. I don't know what to say. I think they did a lot of things right, but I think, but it's difficult without worrying about security. I mean, seeing what happened with what was that other one? The one where kids are in. We went in where there was
rec room.
Rec room, yeah. Yeah, like we would have stuff in Rec Room, but then you would have, random trolls crash in with these, like world crashing code. They would take over audio, video, everything. So it's like, open source, and I think being more open also leaves you more vulnerable. I remember seeing that back in the day, back in my day with ActionScript and, the web. It's like it gave you, the more control you have, the more power you have. There's also the power for corruption and tracking and things you don't want, but it's a really difficult thing, because without the walls, you can learn so much better and quicker and share. But it's just, it's a bad apple that spreads so quick.
Is there any platform now that combines enough of all the best parts of everything, do you think?
I think the best parts of everything is always going to be the community first. And I think the biggest union right now is in VRChat. Like, I think, Engage kind of has a good, like when I first heard of Engage, I was like, wow, this is going to be it. But when I get into it, it just frustrates me and I don't know what it is. I mean, I can probably complain about it for hours, but that's not going to help anything. I think it's hard because I think everyone's trying, but it's like, how do we all kind of work towards something without constantly criticizing and knocking something down? It's hard. Like,
Well, it's hard
Yeah.
because criticism improves things. It's feedback, constructive feedback, right? If you're not having a bitch session, it's a constructive feedback. And what was exciting about AltSpaces in the early days, the developers listened. Now they listened a little too much. That's a point. You can listen so much so that you're chasing your tail because you're trying to make everyone happy, and you can't do that. But I think that one of the greatest gifts, which I believe that you all have taken forward into your own community building, is that the core fundamental of the community standards of AltSpace. I think that when people came in and understood what those were community enforced, they were written down by the platform, but it was also in the staffing, but it was also community enforced, of tolerance and acceptance, and the understanding that VR is multicultural, it is multilingual, it is you fill in the blank. And that's an important part about building a community. And you two have taken that forward. Can you talk about your community events and those guidelines, how they, from AltSpace forward, how they influenced the community you set up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do think that AltSpace, with the tools that they offered, kind of fostered the engagement and the culture of inclusion. Because one thing I thought AltSpace really did wonderfully was the calendar. They were kind of the first social VR app I remember where you could say, hey, we're doing this at this time. And I found so many interesting communities just through their advertisement of the events through the calendar, but they also made hosting really safe and easy. Without setting up any special scripting, you could mute people. You could give them the megaphone, the opposite, hey, you got the floor now, and help people feel heard and take turns sharing, and that was. Those little nuggets that AltSpace kind of urged us along sort of became the foundation of how do we make a good experience for every person that comes? How do we help them have the spotlight? How do we help, how do we help bring that wonderful knowledge they have of the topic to the floor? How do we encourage people to share? And I think it really grew as a concept, the more events that we got into.
Absolutely. Fuzz, comments? Which you don't have, unless you have a noisy background, you don't have to keep muting and unmuting if you don't want to.
It's also a thing where I'm just okay, I need to listen as well, because if you give me an opportunity to speak, I won't stop talking. and I really appreciate Scott and what he has to say. No, and I think Scott hits it on the head as well, but about the tools like moderation and how that really is needed, but you also need a community to help. Because I think what AltSpace did and Volver did was we had moderators that were community driven that would help, so that the event holder would be able to do their discussion. If Scott's doing his thing, he can talk without being overwhelmed by random joiners coming in and just asking things that are already known, or just being trolls or something. Because just there is a narrative or there is a flow to things, and I think it's hard when you're knocked out of that flow, even as a viewer. So I think moderation really helps with that, and I think for world building, it's a huge part. Yeah, I think this medium is so new to us, and there's so many things we can do, and I think we've only dipped our toes in. It can be really frightening and overwhelming, especially when movement is involved and people can get sick. And it's I feel like I'm back in the old days where we're in a theater, someone's watching a train come in and everyone's running out of the theater because they think the train's gonna hit them. I think we're not. Yeah, we're not sometimes I get afraid, of vertigo or something, but it's just trying to better understand with this medium how to absorb things and instances. And I think right now we're seeing the power of communication in real time. This isn't Facebook where it's just a parade of statements. You need to pause. Yeah, like, and that's one thing, even the mute function, like I need to mute myself because I'm like, this isn't just about me making a statement. It's like, how do I sit and really absorb? And I think being with those communities and really forcing myself to sit and be like, okay, it's not just about me making a statement, but like, what does someone else have to say? And just seeing even my own thoughts change as people make statements. And, you know, like I get to different, so it's the whole choose your own adventure thing, you know, like you get to a different place, the more people there are, the story becomes so much more diverse and thriving. And I think it requires a community to do that.
Do you think that being science fictionally based has also given it a basis with which to not only have a terminology in common, but also a basis of experience that promotes not being afraid of it?
I think so. I think the analogy really helps, and this is where I love artists like J.R. Tolkien that try to take away from being kind of literal representation of like, don't say the orcs are these people or whatever, and it's not about the races, but more about the concept of good and evil. And I think when science fiction and fantasy, we can kind of put certain ideas where we're not so tied up, because right now I think we're all living in a red versus blue, upper egg, lower egg, or whatever, east egg, west egg, I can't remember what it is. One way or another, it's just all kind of polarized, and I think using the analogies with sci-fi really helps. But it takes a lot of work. I mean, it's such an intricate weave of things, and I think it just requires a lot of time creating and talking with the community and seeing how people react to things too. How things are shared.
So so that kind of leads into bridge makers, right? And I'm interested. I want to get involved with bridge makers. So just from a personal interest. But so you guys are involved in Bridge Makers, which is one of our partners. So can you tell us a little bit about that and maybe share how I and other people can get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. And Bridge Makers helped us branch out into another topic that we both love, which is mental wellness and community, and also conflict resolution, these real core concepts of like keeping a community thriving. I think so many community leaders in the metaverse might be familiar with the sort of collapse of community and the stress of managing, different things that happen within the community. And, Bridge Makers like teaches and advocates the tools for how do you navigate that and keep the community like engaged in the conversation. And, that's kind of the title of the community, is to keep the bridge, right? To keep the connection. And we did the event, the Body Keeps the Score, Dr. Vanderkolk's kind of cornerstone book on childhood developmental trauma. We did like a 16-week chapter by chapter discussion group and dove into the topic. And
Wow.
It might sound kind of like a contrast, right? Sci-fi and like childhood trauma, but like sci-fi is really sort of like a layer that you put on top of like really deep like humanist concepts. So it's a way to sort of explore these grand like human experience topics like through the entertainment of a story. But then when you go into the deep layers of it, you're like, holy cow, like this is really meaningful. So that's where the sci-fi and the mental wellness kind of connect in the events that we do.
Okay, and then just out of curiosity, real quickly, so I did join the Discord, and there are events in VRChat on a regular basis, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Weekly events. There'll be an event page in there, and I can look for your join and kind of help you through the process if that sounds nice too.
That sounds awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Sure.
and we're going to be soon hooking that into our Educators in VR Discord as well. So Scott, if you're running that, we need to talk.
Oh, great. I'd love to help. And by the way, before we maybe have run out of time, I've also played Zork. I'm sure.
Love Zork, love Zork, love Zork. Yeah. Okay, now, so y'all just go away. Scott and I are going to go in a corner. We're just going to talk. Okay, no.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yay! All right.
And if you are interested in some of the events, we have 2 more Firefly TV series events that we do in VRChat. We're also thinking about doing the Red Book by Carl Jung, like a discussion group.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're going to do The Prisoner,
would
the
be
TV series The
something.
Prisoner.
Mm,
Yeah.
Ooh.
interesting.
Yeah, Prisoners would
Yeah.
be
Well,
fun. The Red
I'm
Book would be really
excited.
good, but yeah.
Yeah. So news is flying that some very important people directly involved in Stargate, that there may be a new Stargate coming out, and so I've assumed that will be a high topic of interest. But you've created a Star Trek appreciation world that is absolutely
Oh my
fascinating.
gosh.
Can you talk about what?
I didn't know that you knew that.
Yeah, as a fanatic in Beyond fan in Star Trek, I'm just curious about what goes into developing a world that is associated with a brand, a trademark, and something that is so beloved and really, we're obsessive about Star Trek stuff. We're really obsessive. So, how did you build it, and what were the challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. The challenge is always kind of the technology, because I sort of moonlight in VR. Like I work an IT job, like I want to say 9 to 5, but it's probably more like 9 to like 10 p.m. And in between, we do these things in VR. So like learning the scripting and the animation to try to do what you envision in your mind, like in VR, can sometimes have a gap, and you sort of have to make peace with that to put it out into the world. But for me, creativity is also like a really healing exercise. So like I'm dumping like my healing into like my love for these stories and these characters. So like it just kind of guides the process. Like a lot of times I don't even have like a template for what we're trying to do. It's just like I let it like flow as we go and dive in that way. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Well, it's also quite a challenge because there are now so many Star Trek shows. We watch this evolution from the original TNG and Voyager and DS9, and then now we have Discovery and blah blah blah, and all these craziness going on, including those that suddenly disappear without reason. But and a new show, the Academy is coming out, and I think there's also another new one with possibly from based on Enterprise is bringing back Scott Bakula. So again, I don't know what's going to make it through the grinder or not, but when you tackle to build a world that is appreciating something that is more than one thing, did you just let it organically evolve into that, or did you give any thought to how do I represent? It's like Doctor Who. You have my doctor, and in Star Trek there's like my show, but then there isn't. It's complicated. How do you bring that so people can appreciate and explore that virtual world?
Yeah, for me, I always like to credit Tom Nickel, because he sort of implanted like the template of this type of event, where he has something he's really passionate about, and he's like, how can I convey this concept in VR, and how can I gather like how people feel about it? And he's such an incredible event host. So I think any topic that you're passionate about, you can not only build like an immersive world to that theme, which just makes it kind of fun and interesting, but then when you fill that world with like your love for something, I think it really brings like a sense of community out, because it gives permission, like, what can I bring that I love about this, or what's inspiring me about this thing I don't even know about. Does that kind of make sense, Fuzz?
Yeah,
Fuzz? Yeah.
I think so. I think it's so much work to even dabble in any creation. I mean, you want to put an image and have it uploaded into VRChat, and it's going to take you like a day, just downloading, installing, and doing all that stuff. So the workload alone is so much. And I think the best way to get past that hurdle, that huge hurdle, is to love to find what you love about something. So for me, like building Firefly, you can get caught up in, okay, well, what version of the Firefly is it? Was it the one with the show, or was it the movie? And then you find so many different blueprints, and you can get caught up, and you're like, well, the rust on this part of the ship wasn't right, and the symmetry is off, or the vertexes are off, or whatever. It's like, let it all go. Whatever you're doing, just try to recreate that. Like if you love something about the show and you imagined yourself standing on the bridge of the Enterprise, D or something, just do it, just build it, and keep going, and keep going back to what you want out of it, because I think it's a form of communication. Because whatever you put out, and even if you have a little taste of what you experience, someone else might see it and be able to reciprocate, or be able to be like, hey, no, that's not what it was for me. For me, it was about, when this happened in the show, and how can they express that. So I think it's just being true to yourself, and what inspires you about these things, and trying to recreate that and share that with others.
A touchstone.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Steph, you have a question? Oh, did we lose Steph?
Oh, no.
I think so. Oh, she's muted. You're
No,
muted,
I
Steph.
hit the
There
mute
she goes.
button
Oh,
trying
there.
to get out of another window.
Okay.
I was in another dimension and got lost on the way back. But do you have any advice for someone who wants to start right now at world building? I mean, I'm looking around at how easy it's going to become, how hard it has been. Right now, it's kind of at a tipping point between the two. What would you suggest?
Yeah. And do you want to maybe take that one first, Fuzz? I know you love to talk about the building tools and.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, everyone is really hoping for the AI to come through. But what I've seen is, what it's going to produce is probably going to be very poly heavy, unclean. It's not going to have the finer details that an animator does right now. I'm sure it's going to get better, and it'll be able to do it in the future. But right now, it's not doing it, and it's going to be very clunky and kind of like you're drawing with not stucco, but the popcorn stuff that you
Crayon.
cover your ceiling with.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
the resolution is
Yeah.
not there, the level of detail is not there. So when you're doing things, it's going to look clumpy. I mean, that might work too, but I think in order to really tell stories and narratives, I think it's just about figuring out. You really do need to take time. And I don't think a single line prompt is going to relay an experience the way you want. I mean, it's going to be okay with maybe creating generic environments. Like, okay, let's do, but I think finer tools like in between tools, like a couple of tools that I use that I love. I use, Blender primarily and Unity, but then I also go into Blender Marketplace and I buy things like there's one called like Starlight or something. And LucasArts uses this, and a lot of other people use this too. And that generates, you can do 360 just panoramic environments, so you can do stars, the sun's binary stars and systems.
Oh, and doing that
add
by
clouds
hand would be
without
just
clouds.
ridiculous.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
too much work, right? I mean, I remember back in the day when I had to do that with HDRI photos that you would get from some site, and there'd be like half resolution, or there'd be some watermark. I think it's about meet somewhere in the middle. Don't look for a one push button. Like, you're going to need to carry some kind of a part of the weight. So I think it's about understanding what you do and what you like to do. So if it's about creating a story, like, how can I better tell that story? So if it's about using AI generated content, finding ones that are going to be able to do it so it's not bogging your system down, but it's going to take some time. Like, no matter what it is, you really need to sit down and be like, what do I want out of this, and really work towards it. I'm not saying because I have a solution. It's just what I'm realizing is because it takes so much time, you really, the longer you take in conceptualizing an idea, and you don't want to sit there and just overthink, but just take a bit more time to be like, what do I want out of this? And then how can I chop it into manageable portions, especially when it comes to community building too, because I'm even talking with Tom and things like that. I get carried away, and I need other people to be like, hey, Eren, calm down.
Well, I think
let's focus on this part of it, because you send me a link, I'll come back and like, well, here's the geo data from orbit, and and I have some I overthink
Yeah,
things. So
I
yeah,
think
it's
I
good
can
to set doable
summarize
goals.
Yeah.
it where, Fuzz has the personality type where if he painted, his living room, he would always see the scuff like in the corner that the brush missed. And I try to, be a partner and say like, hey, like we love the scuff too. So and I
That's not a
time.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I think
world building is about iteration. It's about curation and iteration. I think those go hand in hand, right?
Yeah, iteration is important. I think the time component that Fuzz mentioned is also because, Fuzz is really a professional like 3D modeler, and I'm like, I sort of everything I knew, like I learned from YouTube and talking with ChatGPT. So like I can speak from like I really don't know what I'm doing. Like everything in the Star Trek world, for example, was like just persistence of trying to put things together. And I think we live in this golden age of like sharing information where people like share on YouTube how to use Unity and Blender, but they do it because they love it. Like it's not like a paid service. They're like, look what I found out. And you can tap into that and just, if you have the time and the willingness to be frustrated to allow yourself the frustration, like just welcome it and be like, I am gonna be up until 2 a.m. like just banging my head on the table trying to figure out why this animation
But
won't
that's
start.
okay
If you
because
can
you love
survive
it.
that.
Yeah, he's just part of it. All right, so we need to. I've been having so much fun down here. We forgot our audience. Questions from our audience for our amazing guests, Scott and Fuzz.
Yes, thank
Yeah, so you're all unmuted. You can unmute, and whoever's first to get to the unmute button. Questions?
They're all shy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Everybody's all shy.
Come on, somebody's
Oh,
there.
there's
All
There
right,
we
Theo.
go.
Come on, Theo. Unmute. Speak.
Hi.
Thank
So
you. Hi.
how long was that process working together like you guys knew each other from alt space? Because it sounds like there was a lot of like connection before the collaboration for these spaces as well.
Good question. Scott, you're muted.
Yeah, I guess I'll start since Scott's muted. But yeah, I mean, it's like any relationship. I think it's just we're part of the same circles with mindfulness in VR, and I think that really helped as well. Just because we're also on this journey of self-discovery, and we're part of a lot of sessions. Especially with amazing hosts like Tom, or Jeremy, or Kyoki, or any of the ones from Evolver. Kristen and yeah, everyone, Eileen. I can't stop with how many there are. You end up growing with people because you share so much. But yeah, and then knowing our own personality types and what really drove us helped with the creative process, because it is so frustrating. It's kind of like you bear the burden together, so it makes the burden that much easier. I think the same thing happens with working out or whatever. Misery loves company. It just makes many hands make a lighter load, and I think this one helps quite a bit as well. It makes it more fun too. We can kind of laugh at things or cry about things together, like losing data or nothing like losing like 8 hours of
Losing
data.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't mean to
whoops.
swear.
You
but,
put it on the
hurts.
Google Drive, right? No, you did, right? Like, yeah.
It's just, or it just doesn't load, and you're like, why doesn't it load? And then you're getting like build errors, and you're like, why? It's just why? And you kind of go insane a little, and you die, and then you get reborn. Yeah, it's amazing.
There's some truth there. There's some truth there. Great question. Thank you. Anyone else?
Thanks, Theo.
It just takes time. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, this can happen in our Star Trek and Firefly events too. Sometimes as we'll present the show and all the materials, and I think sometimes there's just nothing to add, you know.
It
But
takes a
we're
while
Oh,
to parse.
it does.
Fire
It
hose
does.
people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want
It's also the
we
pressure
have our.
of like, what question should I ask?
Yeah.
exactly.
No, not our audience. They usually are done. But our XR News resolution show is in a couple weeks. So we're thinking forward to 2026, and I'm sure you are too with all your events, your community, and everything. And there's changes that are happening in the XR industry as well. So what do you see as the future for social VR over the next year and for your community? What do you have lined up?
Yeah, I think the next event we're probably going to do is the Prisoner, and that's actually a collab with Tom Nickel, who's someone that saw the show when it aired. So
Me too.
we're oh, wonderful! I'll be sure to. And also, thanks for the NASA shirt, by the way. I did see that. And, yeah, so I think 2026 we'll probably get rolling with like some immersive prisoner worlds and the event itself, which is like a presentation format followed by like a discussion group for what they thought about that particular episode. So that's really next in the cards for us.
Okay, where do you think the general industry and all that stuff? Where's that going?
Oy, what a
Yeah,
question.
I think I hope what they are able to kind of keep in VR and XR going forward is I think it's unique in that it's a place that you can have presence, but also like kind of safe anonymity, if you choose. And I really think that opens the world up for if you have a personality of being shy, or maybe you have a neurodivergent kind of personality where you're waiting for permission to talk if you go out to dinner with somebody. These social aspects are kind of really well done in VR. Like you can really get to know somebody that in life, because of the stress of like physically, like logistically getting together and stuff, you don't have that in VR. So I hope they're able to keep that where you kind of have presence, but also the option of anonymity and being able to find your people in here. It's an absolute treasure trove of people in VR right now.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It is. It is. All right, last chance for any audience questions. Anyone itching?
Is it okay if I ask another?
Certainly.
How did you guys come to VR? Or where did it all start? Like, what was the reasons?
Yeah, you first maybe.
That's a long story. I think it's first it's for another form of escapism. If I was diving into a book, or comics or something, and I think VR is a way of merging all these kinds of things, literature and visual. I think there's so much power here. I think it was inevitable to come to this. All the tech, the web and VRML and all the stuff that led to this.
Yeah, for me, it really connects me to my father because, like I said, he read me the science fiction stories when I was little, and it's like I always knew this technology was coming. I just didn't know like when, and I had a really difficult 2016, so I missed the Go and the Riff. But in 2017, I bought the Microsoft Vive. And that was just like the happiest moment in my life because it was like we have it now, like we have this now. It's so wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, there's so much possibilities with AR, XR, augmented reality, and interactive. I mean, when you go to like Paramount or Universal and you have like interactive frames, there's so much you can do. And yeah, I'm really excited for it. And I think it just requires a lot of being curious and being okay to failure.
Being okay to fail, yeah.
Yeah, no. As I
Being
teach
okay to
my
fail,
students
sorry.
that all the time. I want to teach in a society that actually rewards failure rather than success. Because if you're succeeding, you're not learning.
Yeah.
Failing.
Yeah,
Failing
we
is the
teach that
only way you
in
learn.
our community
Yeah,
the,
it's so
to practice failing. It sounds funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a
lot of truth.
practice.
It's a
It
beautiful
really
thing.
is. Yeah.
Or at
It
the
is a
very least,
practice.
forgive yourself for failing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to. We have gone way over. My
Oh,
my
dear.
team is going clock, and I'm like, we could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. I again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you to our incredible audience too. This has been a fascinating discussion, and you can catch up with Scott and Fuzz in VRChat in the Love Letters to Sci-Fi Community Events and Worlds, and I just today I had for the prep for the show I took a look at the new VRChat calendar that is literally they've just like ported in a Google Calendar, and it is. Oh my God! It is. I miss Altspace's calendar so much. What they have now,
Still not there, huh?
yeah, it's just disgusting. It's like looking at a nightmare come true. But you can still find the events sitting there on the Love Letters to Sci-Fi, and get involved as also through bridge makers and everything else, because this has been fascinating, and I feel like we're back with family. This is like
Indeed.
family here. This is absolutely beautiful. So thank you
Indeed,
so
yeah.
much, and just stay here while we close everything out. So Steph, all you.
XR News is produced by educators in VR and our XR News volunteer team weekly here in Engage XR. We've been bringing you the news from across the metaverse since 2018, and we're still rolling. We meet weekly in Engage XR along with 2 new special edition segments for XR News Med Health and XR News Innovation Spotlight.
Next week, Rachel D. will be here for the XR News Med Health Edition with Dr. Jose Ferrer Costa discussing his innovative research into pain management with VR.
Mm-hmm. The following week, XR News is here in Engage XR with our annual resolutions show. We're going to be exploring the past and the future of XR and social VR. Don't miss it.
In January, XR News Innovation Spotlight will be dedicated to CES 2026, with the team bringing us the latest innovations, announcements, and crazy from the biggest tech conference in the world.
Should be great. Thank you, XR News crew. There's no show without you. We're always looking for new people crazy enough to volunteer. Training is provided, and anyone at any time can be a roving reporter for XR News. Just drop us a link in our Discord to share something you found newsworthy. Become a member of Educators in VR and help support this and all of our other free programming. Come join us and be part of the fun.
Each of our shows are filmed for YouTube, and I'm hoping soon we're going to be adding live streaming to our Educators in VR YouTube, out to Twitch, Discord, Facebook, and as many as we can jam in there. So keep up with the news from around the metaverse in the meantime, and join our Educators in VR Discord and social media channels, because we're posting links every day on all the news, articles, research, everything highlighting that we highlight in the show, but we post it there first, so you get the news first before. But no, please come to the show anyway. You can find everything you need to know at educatorsinvr.com.
Thank you to our Educators in VR partners, sponsors, and supporters, including iLearn, the Reinhardt Foundation, Girls STEAM Institute, Virtual World Society, Cadets Metaverse, Vertex Form 3D, Bridge Makers, and Engage XR. Don't forget to give to them and your favorite nonprofit on Giving Tuesday next week or now.
Yes.
And let's not forget to give credit where credit is due. We couldn't do this show without the hard work of those who gather the news from across the metaverse industry for a living. There are so many. Thank you to all of you out there in the metaverse.
And remember, you are the reason we do the XR News Show. Until next time, stand up, stand tough, and most of all, in these amazing, uncertain times, please be safe wherever you are in the world.
We did a thing!